The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We know how busy you are and appreciate you choosing to spend time with us. We will do our very best to make the next hour as productive for you as possible. My name is David Ronald, and I'm the Director of Marketing of Foxit Software. I'll be your host today. We are joined by Britton Johnson, Account Manager at Foxit Software. Welcome, Britton. We also are joined by Dan Morris, Senior Solutions Architect at Foxit Software. Welcome, Dan. We have Tim Jeffries, Sales and Channels Director with us. Hello, Tim. And last and definitely not least, we're joined by Gert Mikkels, Director of Product Management at Foxit Software. Welcome, Gert. Gert's in our Berlin office. We were just talking about the weather there. Tim's in our New York office. Britton and Dan are in Atlanta, and I'm here in Fremont. So you have a diverse set of folks speaking with you today. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping issues. Although everyone's phone lines are muted, we do want to hear from you. Please submit your questions by typing them into the box provided, and we'll do our very best to answer them all. Feel free to submit questions at any time. You don't have to wait until the Q&A section at the end. Also, this webinar is being recorded and will be added to the archive on our website at the URL shown here. We already have a variety of webinars in our archive. We're continuing to add more, and I encourage you to check them out. And last and not least, I invite you to subscribe to our blog. We write on a wide range of PDF-related topics, and by subscribing, you will receive a weekly update, which we call Tuesday's Topic. So as you can tell, it comes out on a Tuesday. Don't miss it. Some of the people on the call will already be very familiar with Foxit Software, but for those who are a little less familiar, here's a quick overview of the company. We are the number 2 PDF solutions vendor in the world. I think you all know who the number 1 is, but being number 2 means that we like to try harder. Just like Avis, car rental company in the 70s, we try harder. So that's definitely a positive. We are an innovative company with a large team of smart, experienced, and committed engineers, and our leadership is accomplished and visionary. Perhaps most important of all, however, is our large customer base. We have over 475 million users worldwide. That's a huge number, and it's significant because it enables us to get feedback from a wide range of people, geographically diverse as well as diverse in terms of their needs and their interests. That enables us to tailor our products well to meet those needs. Many people, when asked if they've heard of Foxit Software, will say no. However, when asked if they've used Google Chrome, Google Gmail, or the Amazon Kindle, almost all will respond yes. Anyone who's used any of these products will have used Foxit Software. Billions of people are benefiting from Foxit's innovation every single day. And in the context of this webinar, we're trusted by diverse financial institutions. Financial institutions, large and small, use our PDF solutions. These include major entities such as JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, and Lloyds Bank, but also community banks like First American Bank, Ludwigsburg Savings Bank, and the Equitable Bank. So after that short introduction, I am going to pass control of today's webinar to Britton Johnson.
Wonderful. Thank you, David, and hello, everyone. My name is Britton Johnson, and I work on the enterprise sales team here at Foxit Software. Very excited to be presenting for all of you today on our topic, 4 ways that banks can transition to the digital age. Go ahead and share my screen with you here. Wonderful. Now, being that my role falls within the sales department here at Foxit, I find myself typically being the first person to hear and diagnose a customer's pain points. And I'm always focused on the end goal of finding that perfect solution for their specific needs. Recently, I've noticed that a large percentage of my conversations with banking and financial institutions have been focused on ways that they can transform their environment into a paperless digital space without losing that security and peace of mind that they found in the workflow methods being used up to this point. The webinar you're viewing today will not only answer that question, but also outline the products offered here at Foxit that can be used to aid in that transformation process. Let's start by taking a quick look at two organizations that reached out to Foxit and quickly found great success in their environment. We helped them to create that by using our Foxit line of PDF solutions. I'd like to start by speaking on the story between Foxit and First American Bank. First American Bank was searching for a PDF solution which enabled automation of business processes and enhanced organization of paperwork in order to reach the end goal of being a paperless office. Because the intent was to deploy the decided solution across all units of the bank, it was necessary to standardize on a single trusted provider that fulfilled the entire organization's need and had an easy licensing model. Furthermore, it was critical for the First American team to find a PDF solution that included efficient content management features, allowing their staff to scan, view, convert, annotate, and organize their PDF documents at any time within their Citrix environment. The team at First American found exactly what they were looking for with our Foxit Phantom PDF product. The Phantom was implemented on all Citrix servers to cover the banking unit's workflow while displacing several expensive competitive products that were causing issues previously. The Phantom PDF implementation allowed their team immediate resolution to the pain points being faced while staying within a single standardized solution. This was the ideal outcome for the First American team. The next story that I'd like to highlight for all of you joining us today is with Ludwigsburg Savings Bank. The Ludwigsburg Bank has enjoyed success in the financial industry, becoming Germany's second largest bank. However, along with the exciting growth comes some difficult challenges. One of those being the need to store massive amounts of paper documents due to an obligation to store those files on premise for many years after use. The volume of papers from an obligation like this, from just the credit applications within the department responsible for construction financing alone, would stretch for over a mile if stacked upon one another. It was quite clear to them that their team needed to figure out a way to begin digitizing files and storing them electronically. So after speaking with Foxit, they contacted a third-party scanning provider to scan all of their paper documents into the file type PDFA. The reason for this? PDFA is going to retain that original image color while using less storage space than the traditional TIFF file. Upon completion of scanning their paper documents, Fox implemented our PDF compressor product in order to make their file sizes as small as possible. This easy-to-operate technology for compressing PDFA files ensures that the documents remain true to the original and are legible for the long run. The compressor will even generate economical, compressed black and white, or color images, and they'll be small enough to be sent as email attachments. Ludwigsburg Bank has now transferred all of their previous paper documents into a digital format and will continue to do so with ease thanks to the technology offered within our Foxit PDF compressor product. I hope those two customer stories have highlighted some of the exciting ways in which Foxit can truly assist your organization transform into this digital age. Let's now quickly go over the 4 talking points on the agenda for the remainder of our webinar today. The first will be ways in which your team can improve your ability to create and edit PDFs by using our Foxit Phantom PDF Editor product. The second will be how you can enable automated mass compression and conversion of documents in your environment by implementing our Foxit compression technology, while tying in the third, which is archiving and retrieving hard copy documents at scale. Last, but certainly not least, is the way in which your team can control documents after they've been distributed, whether it be for security concerns or a last-second change needed to a document that's already been sent. Very exciting stuff, if I must say so myself. Now, at this point, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Dan Morris. Dan's going to be our Senior Solutions Architect here at Foxit, and we're very happy to have him joining us today. Dan, would you like to take it away from here?
Absolutely. Hey, everybody. Dan Morris here. Happy to be on the call. So I don't know how many of you are familiar with our product, Phantom PDF. It is our flagship product. We're about to roll into our 9th version of the product. You know, it started off, if you're familiar with Adobe's product, this was a less expensive solution. And it has grown over the years to become a superior solution. It is the industry's best PDF creation and editing capabilities. It will easily organize and combine PDFs, provide superior conversion and compression, and state-of-the-industry security features, including certificate protection, access restriction, secure signatures, and redaction. So what you're looking at here, we are Microsoft partners, and so one of the things that we pride ourselves in our product is the UI. It's great ease of use and adoption. So for customers who have the need to edit and create PDFs, who may not be familiar with other UIs in PDF creation, will likely be familiar with the Microsoft Office layout. And this is very similar, as you can see across the top, Microsoft ribbon style UI. And this is basic creation and editing. It's basically what you're looking at here is the editing tab, where you can see conversion for images and Office files instantly, the ability to OCR text, add, edit text, images, and shapes, and it will maintain the layout during editing as well. So basically, you know, anyone who's edited a Word document knows the way text flows when you edit a document, and we replicate that pretty well within a PDF editing environment. And you can also edit objects, move them around, insert web links, audio, video, other types of media. As far as organization is concerned, if you look on the left panel there, you can see the page view. You can easily move pages around the document, delete, insert, rotate the pages, and then as well as adding headers, footers to perform tasks within the document. And security. So this is a pretty robust panel that you're looking at here. If you look at the Protect tab. So across the board there, we allow for redaction of documents, and not just going through and searching by keyword to eliminate words, but also images and patterns. So you can set it up to find Social Security numbers within a document, phone numbers, credit card numbers, and you can expand beyond just the document. So you can have a directory, a folder with documents in it, and right from this product, Phantom PDF, you can search that directory and you can redact all the patterns, keywords, or certain images that you could find within the documents in that directory. We have password protection, of course, and certificate protection. So you can actually create certificates from right from Phantom, and there's two different ways of doing that. We will actually allow you to create secure certificates. You can also use Microsoft Store to create certificates. And then we have a really robust e-signature profile on here. So you can do a standard PDF sign where you're just adding your signature, importing it, or physically signing it. You can also do a sign and certify. So again, creating certificates that go along with your signature. And these are certificates that can be distributed and stored inside of your trusted certificates. And this is really, really useful for companies dealing with sensitive information. We also have a DocuSign integration as well. So we integrate with this third party, if you're familiar with DocuSign. It's a really robust cloud-based e-signature service. And so that is built directly into the document, into that software. So now I'm going to pass this over to Tim Jeffries. Let me see here. Tim?
All right. Thanks a lot, Dan. Appreciate it. Give me 1 second here, everyone, and I will show my screen, and we'll keep this show rolling. All right, perfect. So as Dan mentioned, my name is Tim Jeffries, and just want to introduce myself and thank everyone for taking some time out of their days to join us today. What I'm going to be talking about and really focusing in on is enabling automated mass compression and conversions with our product solutions. So I'll talk a little bit about compression technology and what it does, right? So our PDF compressor solution is designed to convert image documents into compressed text searchable PDF files. Our compression rates can range from as high as 10 to 1 for black and white images and as high as 100 to 1 for color images. So it's very significant compression ratios that you'll see. The industries that it serves really fits horizontally across all industries, but we have a really nice fit with finance and banking, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as I go through some of these slides. Clients use it in a number of different ways. You have the ability to process files in batches and compress them and make them text searchable. You can also leverage watch folders or hot folders to kind of automate it a little bit more. And you can also integrate it into other capture products and repositories. We have a number of different clients, over thousands of our organizations really rely on it, and they use the software to do a number of things. One, reduce storage and bandwidth and archival costs, make employees and processes more efficient, and also just convert paper-based documents into high-quality PDF files. So we found that compression really impacts a number of different aspects of IT and business. We really kind of focus in on document creation, cloud enablement, our network users, facilitating mobile access, and also on IT. So when it comes down to document creation, it really helps to enable color scanning, create higher quality documents. A lot of companies will avoid color scanning simply because the output image is going to be such a large file. But by using our software and seeing that 100 to 1 compression rate on color documents, it really will help to enable color scanning and create a better document and a better experience. And also to just sort of reduce storage and archival costs. For the cloud user, it will reduce storage requirements and allow for faster collaboration and sharing of documents. For the network user, it's some similar stuff, right? So we can allow users to access documents a lot faster. We web optimize all of our documents, so it allows for page at a time. So if someone's trying to look up a 50-page document, they don't have to wait for the whole thing to download. They can view that first page instantly. And it really will help to just allow users to share, email, and transmit documents a lot faster. For mobile users, to facilitate document accessibility. When documents are a lot smaller and you're not dealing with bloated images, a mobile user, an agent that might be out in the field, can go and look up a document very quickly. And on the IT side, it helps to really reduce storage and archival costs. We can allow the ability to create documents in PDFA, so you can archive with PDFA. And also limit your viewer and software conversion tools. You can put everything into a PDF rather than having TIFF images out there and JPEGs, and you can utilize our Phantom PDF product to view those PDFs that we're creating. I just wanted to talk a little bit about one case study that we worked with. We implemented the solution with a top 5 global financial firm, and what they were looking to really overcome were challenges really associated with high volume scanning, and they included high storage and archival and backup costs, inefficient customer service due to prolonged document load times, and wasted employee time waiting for large documents to arrive over the network. The solution that they chose to move forward with was licensing PDF compressor to process upwards of 800 million pages per year. The solution integrated seamlessly into their existing OpenText Captiva capture workflow. And the success of the solution really enabled the firm to use it elsewhere and upgrade the license to process 1.25 billion pages per year. The return on investment was achieved within 1 year of implementation. A couple other benefits in there were just reduction of storage and bandwidth costs due to dramatically reduced document size, and really just making employees a lot more efficient through their ability to easily access mortgage documents and service customers at a faster rate, just by allowing them to get access to those documents faster, and also because they were all fully text searchable. All right, so I'm going to pass the controls over now to Gert. Give me 1 second here. All right, Kurt, should be good to go.
Okay, thank you, Tim. So I hope everyone can see my screen. Okay, today I will talk a bit, first I'm Kurt Michaels, product manager for server-side PDF products used in the enterprise automation branch of Foxit. So today I will talk a little bit about enterprise PDF rendition, and for everyone to make it more or less better to understand what actually mean by enterprise rendition, I just start with the opposite. So going to present some points what might be familiar and exactly what enterprise rendition can change to this. So one of the first point is if you're in your enterprise infrastructure, if file conversion is performed on the spot directly in your tool into your workflow chain, enterprise rendition tries to bring all these conversion to a central scalable platform, and this makes it much way easier to scale your platform, because if in the other ways you use it on a very local infrastructure, that's always the server at that point, that's the limiting factor. And by going to a central scalable platform, this is no longer your unique bottleneck. You have one infrastructure for all your conversion, makes it a lot of easier on the load side. Another typical aspect of people not doing enterprise rendition is that they have lots of converters, mostly different file formats and different converter, and it's most also grown historically, so they tend to have a very diverse history and different vendors. Maybe some vendors don't even exist anymore. Support at some points might be dodgy. And enterprise rendition, what does it actually change to this? You have one conversion service for all your data sources, file formats, makes it way more easier to keep the system up to date and for your maintenance. Third point here, if you have different tools in operation, then very likely you have different results. You have different quality in documents. Some PDF files are always very large. Some are very slick and tight and have very good quality. And with a central PDF rendition, you can achieve your company-wide uniform results. So, for example, corporate identity is very well feasible, and you have a clean and neat look on all your documents. And you shouldn't be able to tell one document from the other because of the different systems it comes from. Most companies are object to regulation, and these also comes into the document handling, how your documents are stored or how your documents look like, what functions or accessibility your documents provide. So with enterprise PDF rendition, you get an infrastructure that really helps you achieve these compliance level on a central base, not for every different application in particular, but as a central infrastructure for all your documents. It makes it much easier to achieve specific rules, compliance, for example, how you need to do your bookkeeping or which document needs to be stored how long. If you have a central infrastructure, it makes it a lot easier. And last but not least, if you have a disparate and very tied together infrastructure with different tools, different platforms, it can be very hard for system administration to keep your system up and running. And for example, always there's a risk if any update, or if you just replace one product with the newer version, that your chain might break or something looks completely out of scope, or documents don't look the same, or data is missing, whatever. If you go in enterprise PDF rendition with your central infrastructure, it makes it much more easier to first to have your system up and running, and second, just to make sure that if you have any updates, you at least can test it and make sure that you don't break anything on the way up. So central rendition makes it much easier to test and to achieve and to make sure that your system still runs like before. So that's enterprise rendition. What or how can we do this on the Foxit way? Enter Foxit rendition server. This is a PDF services platform, which also can perform your PDF conversion for you, but it's from the idea it's much more larger. So what is a rendition server in itself? It's an on-premise scalable web service. It makes it very easy for you to integrate this conversion function into your existing infrastructure. For example, if you have a workflow system, you can imagine calling this web service from your different stages. enterprise class web service quality, which means that it's not just like a web service tied onto some existing component. No, we designed the rendition server with web service communication in mind, so the whole architecture is pointed and oriented to be controlled by web service, not only the conversion function, but also operation and maintenance through web service. So it's completely up to date to 21st century software, what you expect from web service driven software. We have a REST-based operation and maintenance interface, which is also typical for a banking infrastructure where you have highly automated and monitored processes. They exactly want to know how each component in the software chain is performing, and they can the rendition server offers all this information, all these metrics on a REST service, so it can be interrogated and stored in typical software systems. And also important because we say it's a platform, it already brings a lot of functions in-house out of the box, but you still have the possibility to add your own specific tools. For example, if you have like a legacy file format and you need to convert it to PDF, we have possibilities to integrate these kind of tools or specific functions into our existing PDF conversion workflow, and so they can benefit from the whole rendition server as a platform. In the best case, it leverages a simple command line tool to running on several servers, load balanced, monitored, and so on. So it's very practical to keep your return on to keep your total cost of ownership and very low. The FOV, that was a technical part on infrastructure. So what does it really do from a functional part? Okay, rendition server is first and foremost for PDF conversion and processing. We can convert any digital document or even scanned documents and emails into PDF or PDF-A. One very good supported function is also to create text searchable documents from scanned images. We can also perform the file compression on these files just to improve the file handling. And we have all sorts of logical functions to split and merge and make files from individual documents. And there's a lot more, but just touching some highlights here. Okay, then we have also a case study on a credit bank, an actual rendition server customer in Germany. So the main driving point was having a solution for compliance, so rules for how to do the banking business. And they also want to make sure for having compliance with archiving rules and having the documents also for a long time archiving. So the solution at hand for what they use the rendition server for is to convert incoming and outgoing documents, contracts, into PDF-A for their internal archive. They use this on a specific web application just to make sure that all documents that are handled in this whole application are stored directly into their archive using PDF-A. Another compliance rule is MiFID II rules. It's a European rule for all transactions between end users, I should say, and banks, just to have a complete track of all communication with respect to the trade of financial products. And just to make sure that all these documents are still readable in 10 to 20 years in the future, they also chose PDF-A as the approved container file format for all these documents that need to comply. So by choosing a rendition server, they can achieve this file conversion very easily and just make it easy for them to comply to the MiFID rules. And another practical case where they had like signature plan and they need to have a written signature on paper from their customers, and they use the rendition server to produce outgoing documents with QR code on it, and then you use the rendition server again to have this document read and split up and prepared for archiving internally into the customer's file directly. So all in all, what do they get with the rendition server? So they have like one central PDF service platform. In the old days, they used to have like a PDF library here and some PDF command line tool over there. Now the approach with rendition server is to have it centrally on one platform, very well tested, very well certified internally, so they exactly know how the platform is performing and what what results are going to be. And they can get same settings, same quality for all their documents. So it's they don't look different anymore. They can achieve perfect corporate identity, all all the lines are at the position where they should be. So they're very happy with the same impression they get from documents. If I just put it all together on the line, so with the rendition server, they get a scalable solution, which is a scalable from you start with one server for a little volume and little charge, and as more and more projects move to central PDF conversion, it's so as easy as just setting up a new server, installing the software, and joining your rendition server cluster. So these systems are designed and built to be expandable over the future. You don't need to pay anything what you don't need now. You can grow over time. Reliability: if any single server goes down, your whole PDF conversion infrastructure is still functioning. So there's of course you have a little reduction in functionality, but it won't break down. So it's built for 24/7 reliable operation. It's extensible through these interfaces where you can add your own code, your own tools, any specific extensions you write yourself. We support, for example, assemblies written in C#. So anything you can come up within C# can be integrated in the rendition server workflows. And very important part for enterprise PDF rendition, and especially also in highly regulated environments like the banking sector, this solution is manageable. So it can be integrated in your typical application management platforms. It has its own management tool for those who don't want to integrate or just want to play around. It is from the beginning designed to be manageable in highly automated, highly secured environments. That's so what I wanted to say about PDF rendition server. So I'm giving back up to Dan. We're going in for the fourth part. Here you go, Dan.
All right, thank you. Let me just pull my screen up here. All right. So we're going to talk about controlling documents after they've been distributed. And Connected PDF is a product that we're all really extremely excited about. This is a product that is more of a feature. It's the other way around. This is a feature inside of Phantom PDF that really is a product unto itself. It allows for document tracking, protection, registration of new versions, collaboration, and file sharing, and so on. And I'm going to get into that here in just a second. So if you actually look at the screenshot here, one second. I think we had, sorry about that. You can take a look at the left panel there, and you can see the participants in the document. So when you set up the document, you can invite people to participate, and you can completely control the permissions that each participant has within the document. And so each participant can do comments, markup, add timestamps, signatures to the document. And all of this is not only happening in real time, can be collaborated within our free reader or with the Phantom creation product, also within our PDF web viewer. So this can be opened directly online, and there's a great amount of collaboration tools in our web viewer as well. And when you set up the document, you have a protect document feature, and this will allow you to add the users that you want to have read permission only, or people who you want to allow to change the documents. So that is a pretty standard feature in permission setting for documents, but we take that farther and allow for very specific permissions on copying text, editing text, printing, not allowing printing, just printing out a low-res version of the document. And we can even set the document to expire, at a specific time, specific date, or you can set an offline copy to expire after a certain amount of days once the document's been opened. And within each document, there's actually a dashboard that shows the statistics for this document. So what you're looking at on my screen right here is another tab. So this is web-based. So you're inside of Phantom PDF, as you can see, and you can change the settings to be able to view your dashboard within the product, or you can view it in a browser. And so I'm going to take you through some of the statistics that you get to see with each document on here. So you can manage the versions of the document. So share a document, collaborate on it, get to a certain point, and approve a version. So there's a version tree here, so we can see each version as the document progresses. You can request a previous version if you need to from the document owner. We have views on here, so this will just show you the viewer name, email address, and the version that they're on. It's also timestamps with when they viewed it, and shows the application that they used to open it. So this could say Phantom PDF, as you see here. They could have the reader product. It could be on any of our mobile products, and it'll let you know how the document's being consumed. This is the events page. So you can see, if I had the product open here on the type row there, you see those all say comments. There's actually 12 different types of events that can be tracked within the documents. And you can expand upon it and get extremely granular. So, you know, where it says comment there, if you click on the little eye icon to the left of the username, it expands and tells you exactly what that comment was and what time it was made. So very granular tracking on this. And then we have an entire statistics page. So these statistics will show you the activity on any given day, and then show you what type of activities are happening within a document, from commenting, converting, printing, managing pages, filling out form fields, and so on. And then we have this final connected review page here, which is a overview, basically where you see the users, their account, their operations, the type of activities they're doing with it, and really just a summary of everything that we've viewed, with a list of review information and participants. And beyond that, you also have, if you look in the top right-hand corner of my screenshot there, where you see my name, you can click on that, and you not only are looking at you know, these dashboards within the document, but you have your own dashboards that show every document that you're sharing out there, and it gives you a great control panel to see what documents you have in the cloud, what documents you have locally, what you own, and be able to manage all of that. So it's an extremely robust feature that really is a product. It's not something that our competitors are offering at this time. So I think we're going to go to Q&A, and I'm going to pass this back to David.
Thanks, Dan. So just a quick summary. We've thrown quite a bit of information at you, and hopefully it's not been overwhelming. Just a quick review of what we covered. We talked about our Phantom PDF product. That was Dan at the beginning, and then Tim talked about the PDF compressor. Gert then covered rendition server, and Dan then brought it back to connected PDF in the fourth session there. So we know we've provided a lot of information. Hopefully it's not been overwhelming. Now we're going to cover a Q&A. There's been quite a few questions submitted, but you know, we'd recommend that if you have any you know, doubts or questions or thoughts, please do submit them, and we'll try to cover them, as many of them as possible now. So Britton, a question for you from the audience. What type of support does Foxit offer?
Absolutely. Thanks, David. So Foxit is going to go ahead and provide all of our clients with a North American-based support team consisting of customer service professionals and software engineers. Those guys are going to be available by phone or via web ticket Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. Now, customers that choose to keep maintenance and support coverage on their products purchased will actually be given access to our premium customer support line, which is going to be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Okay, sounds good. Tim, a question for you. What is the OS requirement for PDF compressor?
Sure, David. Yeah. So the operating system right now that the PDF compressor runs on is a Microsoft operating system, either on the server side or on the Windows side.
Okay, good. Thanks, Gert. Here's an interesting question. Can I run a rendition server in my private cloud?
Oh, okay, that's a valid question today with all the cloud infrastructure. I mentioned that rendition server is an on-premise web service, so you typically install it in your own data center or on your virtual machines, and they can perfectly be in your private cloud or even if you want to in your public cloud. So that's it's everything is possible. Rendition server, you license the installation, and what you do afterwards is completely up to you. So completely free. It's possible.
Okay. Another question for you, Gert. You mentioned PDFA several times. I think Tim also did. So the question here is, what is PDFA?
Okay. Makes sense. So PDFA is A stands for archive format. It's technically it's a subset of standard PDF. So every PDFA file is a typical valid PDF file, but with some restrictions, and they made sure to have only features and functions in these PDFA files that are very simple and easy to implement, and this makes sure that any file that is PDF compliant is very easily and without any how do you say double meanings can be interpreted in any viewer tool. So it makes it a very good format for archiving documents and to make sure that your letter or your document, how it is now, still can be shown and visualized and interpreted just like it is like in 30, 40, 50 years to come up. And because PDF is an ISO standard and it's open and anyone can consult these standards, it's possible and open for anyone to create a viewer or any software that can consume PDF files and make sure that they are looking exactly at the same as they were when they were created. So it's making PDF easier to understand and to implement, and this makes it a PDF as a standalone document on itself, no links to the external world. So if you have a PDF file, it's all in there already. It makes it perfect for archiving and visualization in the next days or in the future.
Great. That was good. That's very thorough. Thanks. Dan, this is a question for your connected PDF presentation. How is security and tracking enforced in connected PDF?
Sure. So it's through accounts. So each user is identified by their user account, and so today that is set up. We're offering it right now as a public feature to our Phantom product. So anyone can purchase Phantom, create a Foxit account, and then be able to collaborate. So that user account, that's how you'll have access to your data. That's how permissions will be set. But I'm glad that question was asked because for consumers who are concerned about security and being able to have things like single sign-on in order to have ease of use, not using a Foxit account, but using an account within their own organization and having the security of that, we are rolling out with our next version the ability to do a premise install and to set up single sign-on. So that can be in a virtual private cloud, or that could be an on-premise install.
Got it. Okay, thanks. Another one for you, Dan. How are user accounts managed?
Sure. So user accounts today, they can be set up within within the Foxit environment, but they will be able to be set up with a single sign-on. So the IT department could manage the account and add it to the single sign-on environment. This can also be done, outside of that in a secure private cloud, like Microsoft's Azure environment, and be able to use a 365 login for sign-on. So there's an array of different ways to manage the user accounts. Everything from public cloud, ease of use, Foxit managed accounts, to very secure internally managed accounts.
Very good, thanks. Tim, this is from your PDF compressor presentation. How long does the software take to compress and OCR a document?
That's a good question. Yeah, so it really is going to be dependent on the image quality of a document, but typically, if we're dealing with a decent quality image, the OCR process will probably take about 1 to 2 seconds per page to process. Compression is really an extremely quick turnaround. We're talking milliseconds. So compression is really not any sort of bottleneck. I'd say OCR would be the slowest piece, and slow is relative, right? We're talking about maybe 1 to 2 seconds per page, depending on the quality.
Okay, very good, thanks.
Sure.
Britton, back to you. Here's an interesting question. Does Foxit offer discounts to government-owned financial organizations?
Yeah, great question. Absolutely. We're going to go ahead and offer 20% off to any federal or government organizations that would like to purchase one of our products.
20%. Very good.
Correct.
We're so generous. Gert, you told us that the rendition server scales very well, but exactly how do you do that? How do you scale, I guess, is the question.
Okay, so we scale both through the number of servers you use. So you can start with 1 or 2 servers, and if you need more capacity, so if your documents need to be converted faster, then you can add additional servers, which are, you install them with a rendition server, and you join the already running rendition server cluster. So that's how you add capacity. The other factor, for example, if you have more and more documents coming in, so at some point you'll need to add volume, because rendition server is licensed to the number of pages per year you can convert. So then you have to relicense an additional number of pages, and you can install this with a new license file, and you'll be up and you have these additional pages automatically or installed and available to you. So it's you can scale both in your conversion power, the number of servers, and also in the volume of pages you can convert per year.
Okay, great, thanks. So you use the acronym REST, R-E-S-T. So the question here is, what is the advantage of a REST-based O&M interface? I guess O&M is operations and maintenance. What is the advantage of REST-based O&M interfaces?
So REST is a variant of web service that is very much used nowadays, and the advantage is that it's very textual and very clear and easy to understand and easy to implement in different softwares and different platforms. There are lots of libraries that help you in consuming REST web services or even producing your own web services. And by going back to a very simple form, very textual, also very well suitable for transferring textual data like performance accounts or counters or measures or information. It makes it very, very easy to offer this operation and maintenance function into different platforms, different environments, without resorting to something very platform restricted. So by going to a REST API, you can call or monitor your rendition server from whatever platform that supports REST web service. So it can be mobile platforms, iOS, or even Linux, and of course Windows as well. So you're not really tied to any platform anymore. These web services can go cross boundaries between different systems and platforms. And by selecting REST, you make it very easy to integrate a rendition server and just to keep it open for your own creativity, whatever you want to do with it.
Okay, good. Thanks for that. So we're coming towards the end of the questions. We have 2 or 3 more in the queue. But if any members of the audience do have questions that they want answered, please submit them now so we can cover all your questions before we wrap up in a few minutes. Tim, this is one for you, I think. Are there ways to customize settings to increase or limit compression in PDF compressor?
Yes, that's a very good question. So there are ways to increase or decrease your compression ratios depending on essentially the goal, right? We try to set the goal really as getting the best compression ratio possible while maintaining the integrity of the image. But depending on what that is for users, we have different compression filters, including JPEG and JPEG 2000, and also we you have the ability to sort of set your filters up for black and white, grayscale, and color images, depending on what you specifically need for each of your document types.
Okay, great. Thanks. Dan, this is for you. Can connected PDF be deployed in a VPC? Question mark.
Yes. Yes. With our next version being released, we are going to be offering that. As mentioned before, we'll be able to set up a premise install to manage the connected PDF platform, all the dashboards that you're seeing, and that can be deployed into a virtual private cloud as well.
Okay, great. Thanks. And Gert, back to you. Question is, can you convert PostScript to PDF?
Oh yeah, sure. We can convert PostScript to PDF. Typical Office file formats from Microsoft Office, also from LibreOffice, OpenOffice file formats. Text files, HTML can be converted, of course, and email files. And email files can be the Microsoft MSG file format or in the more universal EML file format. But yeah, PostScript can be converted definitely as well. So yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks very much. Okay, well, those are all the questions we had. And we have about just a few minutes left, so I'm going to move on now and wrap up the webinar. And I want to thank everyone who stayed with us until now. I know you're very busy and it's easy to get distracted. So for all the folks who've stuck it out till now, I appreciate it. Thank you. Just to wrap things up, our next webinar is going to be on October 19th. We typically do these webinars on the third Thursday of the month. The title isn't finalized, but the working title is Automate Paper to Digital Document Conversion. So that's interesting. Again, it's on the third Thursday of the month, October 19th at 10 a.m. Pacific. That's 1700 hours Central European time. We expect to be joined by an analyst. Can't say who yet in case they change their mind, but that'll be cool. The analyst can obviously provide a different sort of take and can discuss market trends. We hope you will join us for that. And as I said at the top, information on all of our webinars can be found on our website at that URL. Well, that brings us to the end of today's webinar. We would like to thank you for joining us. We know you have many choices about how to spend the past hour, and we're happy that you've chose to spend it with us. And we sincerely hope that you found this webinar to be helpful. We'd love to hear from you. If you haven't already submitted questions, please feel free to reach out to any of the 5 of us. Our email addresses are shown here, and we'll get this webinar archived typically within 24 hours on our website. So if you want to wait until the webinar is archived to reach out, then you can do that within a day or so. That's it for us. Goodbye from Gert in Berlin, Tim in New York, and Dan in Britain in Atlanta, and me in Fremont.